Hey Facebook Live, just come in with a quick message. Hopefully. Hey Facebook Live, just coming in with a short, quick message for you, um, and ask you a question. Do you spend time in nature? Do you spend time in nature? I like, especially in the mornings, to spend some time in nature. I try to do this every weekend, to spend 10, 15, 20 minutes just outside by the lake, by the trees, and to center. I like it to center me, especially, Sunday is considered the beginning of the week or the end of the week, but I kind of think of Sunday as the beginning of the week, and I feel like it's always good to be centered. And I know some days is the day to go to church, which is good too, but even if you go to church or you go to your synagogue or where your temple, wherever you go, I feel like nature has its own temple. The universe has its own temple, which is outside in nature, underneath the trees, by the lake. Um, and to do nothing is a time for yourself to do nothing. We spend most of our days doing something, moving, shaking, grinding, but there's so much power in doing nothing. So much clarity that can be gained by doing nothing. And nothing in a sense that it's a negative, like you're lazy, not doing anything, because you are. In the East they call it being mindless. In the West they call it being mindful. But it's just a time to clear your mind. You ever have a computer, and if you keep your computer on, it overheats, and then your computer's on all the time, it overheats, it starts to malfunction because you didn't give it time to rest. But if you restart your computer, unplug the computer for a few minutes and plug it back in, then it starts to reboot and work as normal. Our brains works the same way. Our spirit works the same way. Our bodies work the same way. That there's time for activity and there's time for rest. And there's time to gain your clarity by being outside in nature. There's might be issues you're having right now, some problems you're having right now that can be solved with just a couple of 10 to 20 minutes of sitting outside underneath a tree. And the trick is to observe without identifying. So you hear a bird chirp, instead of saying, "Oh, that's a bird chirping," you just hear the chirp. You look at the lake, and without just identifying, "Oh, there goes the lake," you just look at the water. Look at the reflection. Look at everything that reflects and bounce off it so easily without hesitation. These little things, these are just my opinions. These little things tend to clarify us. It's like you're having a conversation with nature, conversation with the universe, conversations with God. Just sitting outside in silence. If you ever read The Alchemist, it's called The Language Without Words. And if you could find the language without words, it speaks to you. I was with a medium once, and she said, "Rich, you have the power of an empath. You can hear things without it being said." And so I believe everyone can as well. You might be going through some problems where you just don't know what you need to do. You don't have a solution. So my only advice is to go outside in nature for 10, 20, 15 minutes. Just go outside and just sit there and just observe. And when you be able to clear your mind, it's when the mind is clear, that's when all the answers come forth. But only when the mind can be clear. But if it's too jumbled up with every other thing that you have to do this week, which you did last week, the dramas with your spouse or the issues at work, tends to boggle us down. But if we are able to clear the mind just for a little while, it feels like all answers and momentum starts taking pace. So just me, I'd spend time doing activity, but I also spend time in nature doing nothing. But I feel that I do my best work after I spend some time doing nothing. Again, this is Rich Fontaine with Daily Motivation, 365 days of consistency, doing the same things over and over again until they become habit. And whenever you get a chance, go out in nature, relax yourself. Take time to breathe, take time to observe, and take time to realize what's really controlling your life. Not the outside circumstances, but the internal dialogue. that really controls everything. I appreciate all of you. Love is love. I hope you have a beautiful morning. Namaste.